Are women really making or starring in hugely the biggest money-wise films? Not really.
We regress only in a certain genre.
Yes.
You know, that's one thing for a character to be regressive or, whatever, have problematic points of view. But if the filmmaker or the film itself is also espousing that notion, then I feel deeply uncomfortable.
Hi everyone, welcome to the Quint and thank you so much for joining me.
Thanks.
You know, y'all are streaming favorites. Have you ever been offered something before and it's not worked out, or is this man a genius who thought
This
of
man.
this?
Man is a
This-
genius.
On this one point, I accept.
Konkona, firstly, congratulations. You won an award for gender sensitivity in
Thank you.
cinema. I would love to ask you, do you think when we look at Indian cinema at large, have we come a long way when it comes to gender sensitivity?
Have we? Uniformly? Consistently? Significantly? I don't know.
Yeah.
Also the thing is that it's not like I have been watching everything very consistently,
Yeah.
I don't watch everything. Actually, I consume very little.
I've heard that.
Yeah, I know, because I don't get the time. It's not like I don't want to. I would love to. I have a long list of films that I want to watch, but I don't get an opportunity that much to consume as much as I would like. I feel we have moved ahead, but only in certain areas and only a little bit. Is my very I feel realistic and perhaps cynical answer, and I don't think everyone's answer is the same. Everyone's perspective is different and valid. But if you look at the where the money goes, I feel like that kind of content is not necessarily very progressive. There's nothing wrong. I mean, it's great if we're making money in films, and that's wonderful, and people are enjoying it, and all kinds of films should exist. That's wonderful. But I feel like, are women really making or starring in hugely the biggest money-wise films? Not really. Are their roles amazing in that? Probably.
Yeah, in fact, in the recent years, I feel we've regressed a bit. I think there was some amount of progress
Brave.
done.
That's a brave
That was
man
my
who's saying
question.
it.
That was
But
actually my next question.
we regress only in a certain genre.
Yes.
Yeah.
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 Not in all, because there are directors, directing other films, which are the films which are not dictated by the box office. I think there we have progressed, but somewhere, the box office, when it starts dictating, it does too many damages.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You were talking about, like you said, I feel somewhere we've regressed. Because what happens is, firstly, to come here, it's taken us a long time. Seeing women playing roles that have agency, it's taken us a very long time. Then all of a sudden, there'll be a film that'll talk about, say, sexism, misogyny, women with no agencies, right? Do you think when films like that come up, it kind of sets us back a little bit again?
No, I think, if you were to watch films from the 1980s or
Right.
even the early 90s,
Yeah.
it was very commonplace, much more than it is now. And there was little to no discourse about it.
Absolutely.
I mean, there's a video of Smita Patil ji back in the mid-80s where she's made a point, but I think I've not seen anything else really, apart from that, any hue and cry over the kind of content that was being made. And it was pretty on the nose, the kind of sexism that we see in those films. Now there is actually there is a discourse around it. People are making their point. People are saying, hey, this is not okay. So I don't know if people have changed, but I think this is one sort of, at least one kind of an improvement that we are at least addressing it. Yeah, mainstream big bad Bollywood films are like that. Yeah, it's just a phase, I hope.
Yeah.
That's all I
Yeah.
can say.
But in 60s, we were very different.
Yes.
Yes,
we
it
were.
all started regressing from 70s. It's amazing that we go 4 steps forward, and then again we go four steps backward.
But would you, as actors or a director, lend your name if, say, a character was great and it really gave you that kind of support to show your acting powers? But if you didn't agree with the film or agree with the subject that the film was dealing with?
I personally won't.
Yeah.
No. And there has been many instances where I had to turn it down.
I really enjoy playing characters who are very flawed. I enjoy playing characters, I don't want to play a woman of substance all the time at all. But, that's one thing for a character to be regressive or, whatever, have problematic points of view. But if the filmmaker or the film itself is also espousing that notion, then I feel deeply uncomfortable. I can't actually connect with that at all. So I would not be able to do it.
So, what we've noticed is all your films are somewhere set in smaller towns. Is it a fascination with telling stories that are from small towns?
I've not really given it too much thought. I think it's happened subconsciously. I think also the time when I was shaping up as a filmmaker, we were focusing a lot on very, very urbane sort of metro type of stories. That was giving me a wide open space to explore because nobody's doing that.
Yeah.
So I think I gravitated towards it. I myself come from a small town, so there's some, natural understanding.
You've of course directed some talented actors. If I had to ask you, what is the one thing that sets them apart from everyone you've directed till date? What would that be?
If I were to give you an example, it's like watching a very, very experienced classical musician at work, because there's been years and years of training and honing of the craft.
Right.
And when they come on the stage and they make it look very easy.
Yeah.
So there is a lot of preparation. They will not tell you ever that they do that, but there is a lot of preparation that goes
Right.
behind what they're doing on set.
What was really your first reactions when you all heard the two of you were in the show?
The whole thing was very exciting because I was
Right.
saying earlier also that it's everything coming together.
Right.
I was anyway such a big fan of Abhishek as a director. I had been wanting to work with him since the time of his first film, because I always felt like, oh, yes, this I understand. This is my world, I always
Yeah.
felt like that affinity, with his work. And then, so I was saying that I would have been happy to do a special appearance or a short film or anything. I got so lucky that it's a series
Yeah.
and I got to work extensively with him. Then on top of that, there's Manoj.
Yes.
I've not worked with Mano Bajpayee ever, never been offered a film, show,
Never.
short film, anything ever with him.
It's very
And
surprising.
both he and I have been acting for so long. It's been such a privilege and an honor to work with these two. It's a great role. I mean, there's nobody in the right mind would have I was like yes quickly before they changed their minds.
I was with the series from the beginning, and one day he just called me and said, "Sir, मैं सोच रहा था कोंकणा कैसे रहेगा?" नहीं कहा कुछ सोचने क्या है जल्दी जल्दी बात कर लो मेरा ये था कि I don't know if she will say yes to it. There was no, this is what we are. No, and he was saying no, she will say yes.
Yeah.
As much as I know, definitely she will say yes. I'm very positive about it. Actors learn from each other, whether they admit this or not. They may envy each other, but they learn a lot from each other, from their each other's approach, from each other's performances. So I was always fascinated by her talent. Always, even Omkara, I still remember her scene at the stairs. Pe, I can remember she's sewing something and she's performing. I remember that. अब होता है ना कि आपको कुछ एक एक्टर्स अच्छे लगते हैं, आप सीखते हैं उनसे.
If I had to ask you about a character that you all played in your own films that you learned something from and that kind of you imbibed in your own lives and became better people.
I don't know how much I've learned, but I really enjoyed playing Meethi in 15 Park Avenue. I was playing someone who has schizophrenia. And it was very unusual, interesting, liberating, isolating, lonely to play a person whose reality is not a shared reality.
Yeah.
Also, having inhabited that world immediately has given me some kind of an insight or some kind of a connect. If I come across any other family who may have, somebody who has schizophrenia in that family, whether it's the caregivers or the patient themselves, that gives me, I immediately have some kind of a connect with that.
Like an empathy.
Yeah.
From Aligarh, Professor Sirus, I felt while doing it, I felt that, I was full of love.
Yeah.
I improved as a human being. For that matter, even Sirf Ek Banda Kafi hai. He finds his strength from his religion, from this girl whom he's fighting for. He himself is no hero. Okay, but he is finding strength from outside. So these are beautiful things that you come across when you're playing the character.
So to playing many more beautiful characters. And thank you so much for casting the two of them together. I really hope you all do much more,
The pleasure is
more
all
work
mine.
together. And thank you so much for talking to me.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good
Thank
luck.
you so much.